to the first video in a series of my adventures on the time lock progression server, Mangler. No idea what I'll be calling this show yet, but it will be a combination of guide and just overall experiences on Daybreak Games, TLP server, Mangler. No expert when it comes to Everquest. My oldest brother got me into playing this back in the late 90s, around its release. Um, Ever since then, it's held a strong fascination with me over the years. Very fond memories of staying up late, playing alongside my brother, and just getting into overall adventures in the world of EverQuest. Um, there's a lot of things I didn't get to experience when the game released, so I thought it'd be a good idea to jump in and enjoy what Daybreak Games had to offer for these time lock progression servers. So a little bit about this is my first time really getting into recording videos and playing, you know, EverQuest again after, geez, 20 years. Hey, the 20-year anniversary is going on, so, you know, might be a good idea to get back into it and try out everything that I missed. So, this project, basically, you know, just recording all my adventures and whatnot. I'm using a program called, I believe it's Resolve 15. Yeah, Resolve. And the recording software I'm using is Audacity. Uh, Seems to be a neat little program. You know. But right now in the game, I'm just kind of wandering around the cauldron area and killing goblins while I'm looking for a group. You know, obviously looking for group tabs up. And you can access that by typing in backslash and LFG. Here I am after finding a group and wandering around the state of unrest. And at the time when I was doing this, it seemed to be very few enemies, far and few between, you know. It seems slim pickings because there seemed to be a lot of people back. This video was done on June 21st of 2019, and I came back into it to try out the XR monks because I never had that opportunity when I first started playing, and it's always been something I'd wanted to do. Now with the TLPs, they did make some differences as far as like quick travel, things like that. They have translocators that can teleport you from one spot to the next, and it's definitely made it a lot easier on anybody that wants to play like an evil race to be able to get around. And with there being so many players, I mean, there's so many people that can port you around, and the community's been great. And you know, they don't really expect much from you, but as long as you give them a tip, things seem to be going really well. And here I am. They had some event through Daybreak Games with the in-game store where you can get like a little familiar to like follow you around, or I think even like the players that have pets or can get pets, they can at least summoned ones anyway. They can use that item to reskin it. Now I'm a little higher level than most of this group, so most of the stuff we're killing is green to me. And it wasn't bad experience because the game also now has these changes where you can access the in-game store, and there's like experience boost potions and stuff like that, and you know, you can kind of boost yourself along. I mean, a lot of people kind of frown on it. Some people don't. Some people do. You know, it's just kind of a mixed bag of what people think or feel about it. But I mean, to be honest, there's always been power leveling available in game. Like, you know, you have friends and they're like, oh yeah, I'll help boost like one of your characters. You know, just let's go. Like, I'll make sure that, you know, we get you those 10 levels you want or 20 levels and get you caught up to speed. And or I mean, even having a different character and getting the best gear that you can get for them at the time, like which they refer to as twinking a character, you know, um, which is something that I part of the fun of EverQuest. You you go out and you find equipment that's better for a starting character than that cloth shirt that you get when you turn in that first token. um, yeah, at this point too in my monking career, because I'd never played a monk before until now, and the whole feign death and all that I didn't really understand yet. I mean, I'd watched some videos and so on, but trying to break a group or of enemies in a room, or pull just one guy back. It's something I haven't mastered just yet. But it's been a lot of fun to try out, and I've kind of overlooked the monk class quite a bit, but this time around, like I've really enjoyed just playing something different for once, and not sure where those guys came from. Like I didn't even see them until after uh, I was down the hallway. Uh, I mean, since all the rooms are pretty broken, which means that there's no monsters in them at the time when you go in. The spawns aren't too bad to deal with, and this group's actually decent for unrest. Quite a few guys that I happen to have grouped with before, um, but yeah, very very fun dynamic, and a lot of people, the MMOs these days are a lot quicker. Like you can level up a lot faster. You just have to go to one quest hub and go to the next. Well, in EverQuest, there's very few quests like to do other than like get some items or get your epic weapon or epic items, things like that. And just pulled a red. Nice. Um, Even for me, so I'm sure it was a struggle for most of the group. But that Taklar Battle Master, they had the enchanter in the group had mesmerized them, so it definitely made uh, grinding in this area a lot easier. Because that's a name that offers, I think, like a dented drinking can for any dwarven clerics, or pretty much anybody that's like a dwarf. They can go and the is it Brel Sorellus quest item. It's like a drinking canteen. I'm not too sure on the stats on it, but yeah, it's a interesting item. Yeah, and at this time, like as we're in unrest, I'm kind of cheating on the other group that was there. There's often two groups, not counting the basement, which is the main room, and then which is known as, I think, MR, and then the fireplace, which is in the upstairs area, and its short name is FP. So, in case anybody's ever lost on the acronyms, which I'm a noob myself, so it takes me a minute to really figure out what some things are called, especially like if you look at the name of an area in Lower Guck, which is called Hamlord. Like, how are you gonna figure that out unless like you already know? Like, and it's an interesting one because it's Hand Archmagus for Ham, and then there's a ghoul, or not a ghoul, but like a froglock ghoul undead lord, and it's called Ham Lord. I'm not sure how that ever came up, but it is kind of funny. A lot of people camp there because you can get a nice sword in Lower Guck, but we're still here in Unrest, so things do get more interesting once you get upstairs. You can start accessing other rooms to pull some named rare spawns, things like that, and you can get some rare drops. Not too much. There's better stuff in the basement, which I keep clicking because I was looking for any werebats that might have been down there since we killed that crazed ghoul earlier. I figured we would be able to take any bats or anything like that. What I should have done is during this group is I should have like have gone down there to have seen if there were any groups, or even hit the chat and been like camp check, just to be more friendly because the game is a bit more social with how its speed is. It's good to make friends. I mean, always try to help people if you can because you never know. And I mean, you want to do it because you want to be altruistic. You want to do things to just be a nice person. At least for most people that play EverQuest. But the idea is that you're building relationships with other players, and they may remember, oh hey, this person helped me. I should probably help them back, and it definitely pays off what you get to like in game, and you develop more camaraderie with your friends and so on, and it's always fun to just go on an adventure. Yeah, since we were doing so well, like a lot of the monsters hadn't respawned yet, so it was taking some time, and I was being a bit devious and trying to steal a couple mobs from monsters from the other groups. There's a couple spawn points that are upstairs that are pretty easily accessible, but we got lucky and the rooms down below started repopping, so uh, there wasn't really a big lull in any of the experience gain for this group. And, it's just one of those things as a puller, which is what my job is right now as a monk, is to just keep pulling more and more enemies. That way the experience doesn't slow down, and it's not a waste of time for some members. Um, Now, a cool trick that monks have too, with being good pullers, is they have the ability to feign death, which is essentially they just drop to the ground, and the monsters think that that you've died, and then they'll leave you be. And it's a really handy trick, and it's great for even like just getting through an area that's super dangerous. You get feign death at level 17, and it's a skill that you're going to continue to use throughout your career as a monk, especially in groups. You're going to be doing it to you know pull the creatures back to the group, and just make sure that you're not doing too many. But a lot of times, groups, if there's a lot of enemies, they'll have an enchanter, and typically it's not really a big deal. For a monk to bring back quite a few, but it's just one of those extra safety tools that the monk has in their bag of tricks, or just their repertoire. Um, yeah, we're waiting on the pops, and it just seems to take a while. Trying not to steal too many from anyone else, because you don't want to build up a bad reputation or anything like that. Uh, but with modern movie magic, in the next clip, we'll be upstairs in the fireplace area, and we'll encounter what is something known as a pick, which is something they added to the TLP servers, to help with congestion and things like that. To continue with the different picks, what it does is it just creates another instance of that same area that you're in, so it helps cut down on the amount of players that might be in the area. Works out really well too if you're trying to hunt rares or something, and there's a lot of people on playing at one time. You can end up kind of cheating the system, I guess, as it were. Um, Other than that, it's a pretty good system. I definitely enjoyed it. It helps with getting experienced groups as an area. Once it becomes too congested or whatever, or too crowded, it'll uh, you know
create another instance of the same area. Definitely helps with the experience grind and whatever else you may be looking for. Quest items, things like that. In our group, it looks like somebody mesmerized the reanimated hand. Drops one of the keys that you need to open these doors, but during the time, they made it to where you no longer needed the keys to open these doors, which was kind of nice. It was a little bit different than when the TLP servers first launched. You had to collect all the keys and kept you from getting to some of the other named. And there I am trying to do some feigned death for no real reason. I'm still trying to learn how it works. And, you know, we have an enchanter, so it's not a major deal if I brought back a whole lot. With that in mind, though, I just want to say thank you for tuning in, and like, subscribe, comment. Definitely look forward to making more videos as things progress and I get better with the software. I'll probably try to make a video at least once a week or every 2 weeks. Quite a bit of raw footage to go over, so definitely looking forward to what's in store. See you on the next one. Bye.